Have you been playing the game?
I have, not enough. I've got the kids at the moment. Now, here's the delicate balance. She's 10, he's 8. I'm trying to keep them off Xbox as long as possible. So I have to wait till they go to bed. The amazing thing is I've had it out and unpacked for 3 months and they haven't noticed it. If you don't draw any attention to it, they don't notice it. It's sitting there right next to the TV. They haven't noticed it.
It's like a Tyrannosaurus. As long as there's no movement.
Yeah, it doesn't move. Yeah. So, I am on the game. I was pretty much current up to and including the plague events.
Okay.
But I'm a bit behind now because I've been, running around doing a few other things. What I am looking forward to is we go back into shooting, and I'm back up there in 2 weeks on pre-production, so we're shooting in under 4. As soon as I get into that trailer, I've got nothing but time and bad intentions.
There you go.
While those boys are lighting, I'll be carving it up.
Nice. Very cool. What's your favorite part about playing the game? You have a favorite part yet?
My favorite part is no matter how many times I tell people on Twitter my game handle, they don't remember. It's bloody awesome. Like if you're the lead on a TV show, right? Okay. So then, and you're in the game. This is all awesome stuff. But you can actually wander around in the game and nobody has a clue that it's you. It's like going to Comic-Con in a costume. Nobody sees your face. It's fantastic. So the anonymity, I actually dig on, and the Try-On guys know I'm in there because they know my handle, right? So they're like, oh, here Boulder's in there again, and occasionally one of them will come up and say g'day. But I can just muck around in the game and be completely anonymous,
Nice.
which I love.
How do you feel about the way the season ended for you? You really had a rough one there.
You know what? I'm relieved in a sense that the great thing about Defiance is we established this, almost immediately we established this idea of this town. That, okay, this could be it. We're this far off creating maybe a democracy that we all want. And then we just blow the whole lot up, right? Because really, how do we know? We come into the town as an audience so late into the evolution of this society, of this system of governance, where maybe some cultures aren't equally represented. I mean, that's come up a number of times in the series. There are a lot of problems, gender-wise, racially, species-wise, in this town. So what I'm over the moon with this is we've come in and we've gone, look, bam. Because I do want to blow it up. I want to start again, and I want to hear what television is it's the long form of storytelling. And the only advantage it has over movies, because let's face it, I go shoot a movie, I'm out in 6 to 12 weeks. Bloody great, right? I go play with the kids, play Xbox, awesome. But the long form is a conversation with the audience. That's what I'm addicted to. In the long form, they give you feedback, and there's time to adjust.
Right.
You do a season 1 and they'll give you the feedback, and then you go away and you write and you think about it. And as actors, you come back and you approach it again. So what is this idea? If we're setting up Defiance as this idea of if you did have another life raft, if we as a culture had another life raft with no boundaries and no limits, what would we keep in the life raft and what would we throw away? Now we can have that conversation. Last season we couldn't,
right.
But now we can. So as a storyteller, that's what I'm interested in. As an actor, guns, running around. Because the older I get as an actor, the less I like talking. I find that I'm 45. I was 45 yesterday.
Hey, happy birthday, bro.
I never hide my age. I've earned every minute of it.
Yeah, when you look that good at 45, you don't have to.
Very kind of you. Checks in the mail. Before the groomer got around this morning. Fucking horrible. What was I going to say?
More shoot, less talk.
Yeah, I've said most of the lines. And what intrigues me more and more is behaviour. It's another thing, what I think we do really, really well in the show is because it's science fiction, there's a lot of language. And there would have been a temptation in Defiance for it to be a lot of exposition, and we've sidestepped it. Thank God we've sidestepped 90% of that exposition. Now, it's always going to leave you open to, well, hold on, we're still not caught up with all of the mythology. Okay, well, you'll catch up with that, we'll get there. but the more behaviour, the more we see these people, the more real they are. The stuff that creeps us out in Series 1 is Starmer's hug with Alec outside the bathtub, right? And we're like, hold on, they're really different. Like, those families are really different. That's behaviour. Nothing's said. When I beat the living hell out of Tony, and he's on the ground, he starts laughing hysterically. That's not in the script. That's behaviour. Behaviour is the most telling thing. Not just in drama, but in life. It's who we are. Behaviour is what defines us. So, how we finish season 1 and when we go into season 2, basically by blowing up our own structure, we create the scope for that behaviour, for raw behaviour again. We've taken away our own society, we've taken away our own culture, we've taken away all of our own constructs that we usually hide behind, and we've thrown them all out again, if you like, as savages anew in the world. And each and every one of our main characters, they have to redefine themselves. They have to define themselves all over again. I love it.
How is it compared going from being on the show and actually going to, I know it's done TV shows,
It's you know what? I'm probably the luckiest actor alive in the sense that, and I don't think many people get to do this. The first TV show I did in Australia, Blue Heelers, was the most popular TV show that had ever been on television in Australia. And I was 23 and I was bored. Because I was 23, I was like, yeah, whatever. Pretty bored, it's pretty stupid, because I'm 23, And I got to have that experience again in New Zealand with Outrageous Fortune, which outrated the Super Bowl, by the way, on a weekly basis. Like, the most phenomenally successful television show. And this is from a country that had never had a hit. Not one successful television show in its history. When I walked into the table read, the actors said to me, don't get used to it, it'll be over in 2 years. That was the lead actors. Because no show succeeded. I think the gift of all of that is doing it in other places, especially at a smaller level, where, a lot of the time you have to use creativity to make up for money. There's a common culture to things that succeed, and they're not about budget. And they're not about names. They're not about names on the door, They're about a culture. They're about a shooting culture, an on-set culture, and a storytelling culture. And that's the chemistry. That's the indefinable element. So if anything, those experiences in other countries, what they've taught me is there's a universality to doing things well. And it comes from a really simple place. As soon as people start arguing about who's responsible for success, that's when you watch the whole thing.
Real quick, since you're at Comic-Con, bunch of superheroes. If you could be one superhero, who would it be?
Superman. Superman's an I win button. I miss Superman. Basically, you go, I'm Superman, bitches. That's it. Iron Man suit could come off, And what's this laser sight man from X-Men, Okay, just stick silly putty over his head. That's him done. The Hulk, calm him down.
Nice.
But you got Superman, I'm Superman. Boom. Okay, that's it. Done. Superman, I win button.
Nice. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.